right, it is January. We got the doors down because it is literally 20 degrees outside. So we have been shut down for the last week of December, starting the 24th, and we came back January 3rd. We had a bunch of appointments scheduled, and it's a lot of the regular maintenance stuff that is generally quicker in and out. So this guy is one of our parts delivery drivers for XL Parts. It needs an alternator. Mr. Avery's starter shorted out, so we're getting ready to call him about it needs a starter because if you hook a battery up, it starts cranking. And I undid the signal wire to the starter, and it still cranks. So the only other thing is there's a short in the windings somewhere. Check the parking lot. We've got a Tahoe in for a bunch of oil leaks and some other maintenance. This one's actually owned by the same customer that has the Aston Martins that we have worked on and done exhaust work to. We got an oil leak here. Got a bunch of stuff on this. Mr. Lucas has the Speed Racer themed Miata. Well, Fiata. It's a Fiat version of the Miata. I think 194 Spider or something like that. So we're doing a bunch of work to this thing. We've got a Jeep back there that needs a transmission. We've got Mr. Phillips's probably close to 450,000 miles now Corvette. Transmission possible leak or issues. And then we have the C4 here for Miss Navarro that we've been working on. I didn't really get much footage of it last month when we were messing with it because we were just trying to get as much work completed before we shut down for the holiday. It's had a bunch of parts just shotgunned on it. And so what it was doing is running really, really rich. And this is actually a pretty rare in my eyes, 6-speed C4. I've worked on quite a bit of C4s throughout my career, and I've never physically worked on or seen a manual 6-speed car. They've all been automatics. So anyways, it came in, it was running super rich when it did run. It was running very poorly, I mean terribly. And so she had us diagnose it. I guess it's her dad's car. And the previous owner threw a ton of parts at it, like put injectors on it, put spark plugs, and a whole bunch of other parts trying to chase this issue of it just dumping fuel. I mean, it was black smoking raw fuel. And these apparently are pretty common for ECU failures, which, you know, old electronics in general are like that. You get capacitors that start to leak and corrode other traces on the board, and they need to be refurbished and replaced. So we found a company that does refurbished ECUs for these cars. You just swap the EEPROM chip. So we swapped the ECU. It immediately solved the running rich problem. It still has some other things that need to get worked out. The spark plugs are totally fouled. So it's still got a little bit of a misfire, had almost no gas in it, so we put some fuel in it. It's gonna need the spark plugs cleaned and, you know, probably just driven from there, but she's gonna take it and do the spark plugs herself. Kind of cool that we have 2 generations of Corvettes here. And we also, last month, got a referral from, I think it's Rockies up the street. If you don't know what this is not a 200SX, this is a Mitsubishi Stereon. Same era as the Nissan 200SX. But this one's been sitting for a while. He just approved some work. We're gonna be getting it ready to crank and see what happens, change out some fluids, replace a rusted radiator. This is actually a throttle body injected turbo setup, so we're gonna take the injectors out of the throttle body, send them off to get cleaned because it's been sitting for so long. We're gonna drop the tank and inspect it, and if it's rusted, we're gonna have it cleaned, acid dipped, and coated with the Pour 15 that we use. But yeah, so it's already looking like a pretty busy month here. Mr. Dalton is back for his second visit, and the car looks totally different than when it was here last time. So we're moving on to phase 2 of post-mechanical restoration and some other odds and ends. I've got to look at the ticket to see what all we're doing with that. Mr. Carrillo, we did a set of speed hut gauges, ignition switch, some electrical work. And this one's pretty much wrapped up, ready for him to go home now. It's been sitting forever. It didn't run. We put a battery in it after we put the speed huts in it. We actually got it to start up and run. It runs really poorly when it's cold. Once it's warmed up, it runs great. It'll run and drive. It still needs a lot of work, but he's going to do a large degree of that on his own, so we just got him to the starting point. Also, you'll notice There's a Ford Ranger and a Ford Explorer with a 5-liter. Wait for this plane to pass. A while back, Caleb sold some 5.0 swap parts to a guy, Mr. Preble, and he apparently is wanting to do a V8 Ranger project. So he bought a ton of stuff. He left us a deposit to order a bunch of parts. This is the Ranger that's getting the V8. This is the donor car. It's already got a rebuilt transmission. He's had some interior work already done. We want to swap the power seats over to the Ranger. So we're gearing up to get ready to do a 5-liter swap into this Ranger, and he told us that he actually has 5 more he wants to do because he wants to have all of his kids in a V8 Ranger to have as a family activity. So we're down for that. So we're going to be breaking ground on this swap here pretty soon. I think this is actually the next to come in for Caleb after Mr. Wilson's 300ZX is mobile. Well, we got a snow day. I'm pretty sure we got one last January too, but this one is a lot more. They were predicting 7 inches earlier this week. Now it's somewhere between, I think, 2 and 4, and it's supposed to snow for pretty much the whole day. Snow/wintry mix. So I think we're gonna do some, I think we're gonna do a little bit of hooning. Yeah, for those of you who are watching from Texas, this is pretty rare. Bo's still on vacation. Caleb and Ryan came to work. Yeah, we got cars stacked in the shop. Caleb's over here suffering on the Tahoe. Gravy work. What's up, gravy sucker?
It's not gravy if you don't know what you're doing, Chris.
Hey, at least you're a little bit taller. I feel like those extra 2 to 4 inches help with valve covers and other things.
Yeah, I'll still be, my foot's gonna be on that frame right over there,
Yeah.
and on that one over there, I'll be sitting right here, so. Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best.
I have stolen the camera. It is after hours working on my ship box. That's actually really nice. I'm removing the pinstripe. I've already done this side. You can kind of see the ghost stripe. I haven't polished the car yet, but you can see the stripe there, where it used to be. I gotta take the mirror off to get to this too. It's gonna piss me off. I don't feel like pulling door panel tonight. So, see my ghost stripe all the way down the car. So, I'm removing the original pinstripe because I have a Reproduction turbo stripe. So, trying to remove it. However, I'm pissed off from some paint work that happened to this car God knows how long ago. I'm sure oh, it's terrible on camera. So, purple, blue. Look at that shit. That shit's crazy. Completely different color. Blue, lighter blue. So, yeah, that's super cool. And the reason I'm bitching so much is because they used the top layer of the pinstripe as a tape line. So all this right here is respray and blend until about there, where you can see it came off easily. So now I'm sitting here raging from some shit that happened 30 years ago and a guy that doesn't even know I exist. So that's super cool. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go show you the turbo stripe. So if you decide that you want one, the guy can do it in whatever colors you want, pretty much. I chose to do mine, well, tools today. I chose to do mine in this darker blue color, which happens to be exactly the same color the stripe used to be. White, and then like a dark metallic gray. These are all satin colors, just because that's what he had available in that color. I also have, kind of hard to see, turbo lettering in satin white, and you can see the stripe. I have it under here so I can flatten out, but you have a stripe, and I'm really excited to put it on. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I'm really excited to see it on the car. I'm not excited to install it because it'll look cool. So, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Yeah, looks weird with no stripe, but yeah, car good. If you ever need to remove a stripe, go to AutoZone. Told them a racer wheel, $40, but it does the job. Just don't sit in one spot too long, because you can see that it does damage the paint. You just have to compound and polish it back out, and it'll be fine. This is a update to my turbo stripe install. Also, hood scoop. Yeah, I painted it blue last night. Tell me if it's gas or ass in the comments. I don't know. I can't make up my mind. What do you think? Gas or ass? We'll see. Anyways, so I did the turbo stripe install. It looks pretty good. It comes in individual layers, as you saw in the pictures. So this is one layer. The gray stripe, it says gray, blue, and white. So gray is one layer, blue is one layer, white is another one, and then for the quarter, it's the same thing again. So it's pretty difficult to install, I'm not gonna lie. Recommended to compound everything that's gonna be installed with. Compound it, polish it, get it really clean, wax and grease remover. And once you lay the decal down, once you're satisfied with the way it looks and it's mostly straight, you're supposed to go over this with a heat gun or like some kind of heat, not super crazy, but just to kind of set the decal down and get it to actually stick. Hopefully you're not as unlucky as I am and you don't get a car that's been repainted. Tape line all the way down. I could not get the rest of the pinstripe out here. It was really annoying, but car bad. On the other side, it looks the same. I did make the mistake of going a bit too low. On Bo's car, I didn't pay enough attention. This stripe should be about there. So I should have raised it up like a 1/4 inch. It's still straight, but it does dip down a little bit. But what are you gonna do, right? So if I ever do it again, now I know. I think Chris are gonna put them on the website. Yeah, that's gas. Live reaction to Bozo snapping his head stud.
Dude, I'm scared.
Ooh,
it's not broken.
It's not broken. That's good. This guy's like, oh yeah, first 8 came out good, last 6, and I figured he jinxed it. See it again.
5 left.
Ooh, that was easy. Easy. Woo. Oh, that's gonna snap. That one's gonna break. I saw it moving. I saw it moving.
I saw it move too.
Oh,
God, this one's gonna snap.
You gonna come over here and pull instead of push?
100% this one's gonna snap.
That one's gonna break.
Let's leave that one.
It's not gonna get any better.
Let's leave that one for now.
It's not gonna get any better. The funniest thing about this is we don't want it to snap. We don't, because that's just way more work. I mean, we gotta build an engine. I mean, it's because the car's gonna sit here for a long time. Oh, that one came out. Yeah, we don't want it to snap, ideally.
We do our best to not make these breaks.
he warmed the engine up beforehand and everything. So
going out, you know, outside the end.
yeah, he's trying to negate it. Woo!
Oh god damn, that was a lot.
That's gonna break.
Oh, that one's gonna break.
It's twisting. I see it twisting.
That one's gonna break. Those two.
Those two. Which ones?
It's these two.
Yep.
That one's out. This one's still in at the moment. But those two are
no bueno.
Very questionable.
No bueno. Money.
There's two.
Two. All right, let's see it. Live reaction to snapping that bitch in half. And there's nothing you can do to prevent this, honestly.
No.
Like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's not, it's not. I mean, this is, I would say, y'all, before y'all said it was, what, 40% likely? I think it's like 60%
Oh, it's
likely.
way more.
Oh, a little percussion here.
Something, I don't know, dude. Damn. You just gotta... I don't know if I can really get that
See,
one.
I think you should have done that first. Because now you've already twisted it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Probably should have. The rest of them were coming out.
Yeah. Live reaction.
It's gonna break.
Yep.
No.
No?
We're good.
Cap. Pull that right now.
I can't.
What?
It stayed.
No way. Ain't no way.
It's together.
That's crazy. All right, maybe the percussion method's pretty good. Last one.
If this one does not break, we're golden.
We're good.
Ah, damn, dude.
It's easy if you pull. You'll don't hurt yourself. 'Cause you can lean on the car and pull as hard as you want. Just make sure you don't send your fingers into the battery
I know.
and break your fingers. You're good at that.
I'm afraid of my-
you had a lefty loosey righty tight?
I'm about a righty loosey something. So this is the last one.
Very last one?
Uh-huh.
And it's like C's tight?
And it's the very center.
Let's see it.
But if it breaks, it breaks.
Hold on, before you do that, grab my air hammer and the little heating
I tried that.
Did you actually with an air hammer?
Not an air hammer, I did it with a hammer a couple times.
Yeah, try the air hammer. Vibrating.
Try it. It ain't broken at this moment.
Yeah.
So
if it breaks after we air hammer it, then it was never meant to be. Is it still hot?
a little bit. But if you put your hand on it, it gets hot.
What do you think, Chris? Is it gonna snap?
We're gonna see if it's amateur hour or pro hour.
You know, a guy like me, I wouldn't snap head studs.
Watch the next one.
I don't work on L28, so I'm good. I'm a big VG guy over there. Big VG guy.
Just a couple light taps, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
like little 3-4 second bursts. Nice having an air hammer where the trigger doesn't stick.
Hey, yours was pretty cooked.
And I even asked Cornwall, do you have a rebuild kit? And he's like, yeah, you have to buy a new one.
Well, your air hammer was also probably like 10 years old.
Yeah, I think I bought it when I worked for Gary.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I mean, still, you'd think that, I mean, I can get a rebuild kit for my Ingersoll that I bought 15 years ago.
All right.
It's creaking.
Back the opposite way. Just a little bit.
It's twisting.
Is it?
I can see it and feel it twisting. Yeah, it's.
Don't keep tightening it.
I wasn't putting a lot of force. It's just.
Oh, it's just that fucking up.
You see it?
Yeah.
That's movement.
Yeah. Maybe you can work it out like that. It's creaking.
Sucks those things season.
It's the last one, too.
This is the last.
Pretty sure it's the same thing that happened on Dylan Young.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be just a quick oil pan and heck.
Wait, hold on. So before you snap that bitch off, you
Does-
want to tell him that it's going to break?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
You wanna go ahead and call it?
Yeah, have go in there, tell Jackson to call an R&R engine time, and might as well just look into a rebuild. What do you know?
Yeah, while he can still drive his car around.
Yeah, like right now we can just
I can tighten everything back.
torque it back to spec, and
Because I only cracked them all. I didn't even take them out.
right.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I was never ready to put it yet.
I wanted it, dude. I wanted just the. Oh wait,
No,
that.
you may have gotten it actually.
What did you do?
This is for first time putting on gloves ever and it dropped into the strap bucket.
I got a little update. We have Mr. Wilson's VG30 ET that I've been working on. Putting those plug wires on now. I need to prime the oil system with our pressure tank. Put oil and coolant in it. And actually, it should hold coolant. I gotta put a battery in it. And finish up little odds and ends, and it should be ready to start today. I'm using the factory cooling lines for the turbo because it's just the easiest thing I could do. So I have the heat sleeving on it. That one goes to the throttle body, and it goes through the throttle body back into the lower intake. And then the back side also has heat sleeve on it. You see it back there. The way that I had to do it in the turbo is this side points up and the other side of the core points down, just to kind of loop underneath and back around. It was just the easiest way I could do it. But yeah, the Mega Squirt I built looks great in here. Honestly, it looks like it doesn't even run. There's no wires in there at all, you can see. So, pretty stoked about it. As long as it works. If it doesn't work, then I'm not stoked about it. But
Hey, is it this shield that Rico's was missing?
No, it's the bracket.
That big one?
Yeah,
He doesn't have this one.
I don't think that will make as big a difference as the block. The bracket on the block. Why? What is it doing something weird?
It sounds funky.
It sounds like a VG, honestly.
Come on, close to it.
Let me rephrase that. Sounds like a VG that's been sitting for a while. Oh yeah, when the shims are.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna attempt our. We're almost ready to do our first start.
It cranks.
It cranks.
Well, I gotta. All right, I scanned you. The transmission cooler lines are still open, so I gotta.
Oh, you got. Yeah, I see you have trans fluid on the floor.
I gotta connect those.
Yeah.
Is it still? Oh, okay, it's not that.
Well, cool. Let me know if I can walk over here again later for nothing.
Yeah.
So what did we determine? The brake lights are stuck on. The wiper is stuck on.
I got it to stop.
Okay.
The cruise control is stuck on. I do like the third brake. It's nice. It is cool.
When did that come in? 86? 87?
So they don't make a roof wing for this car, which really sucks because I want a roof wing bad on mine.
All right, we are dialing in the base timing on the MS3Pro Mini that's in Mr. Wilson's car.
What are you saying? I marked here marked it here.
Where?
Yeah.
So what I've done to help is if you mark the outside of the pulley, if you can't see your number one mark, you come to the outside of the pulley and you can see, oh, it's 180 degrees out.
Oh,
yeah, so that way you at least have some reference point.
Go for it, Bo. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. What did you change the number one tooth angle to?
120. It was 160.
Okay.
Go again.
You gotta hit burn and key cycle it. If you make wide sweeps, sometimes it doesn't take until you hit burn and key cycle it, and then you key it back on and it'll spark all of a sudden.
I burnt it. I just didn't key cycle it. Try again.
Hope we didn't fry this module already.
Try again.
Change that ignition output to going low. Key it on, but don't crank. I want to make sure this thing isn't heating up.
You were the same number.
Yeah, let's see where it's at. Let's try cranking it again.
Try again.
Yeah, I think it needs to be on going low. I have to read the manual again.
Go for it.
Getting close.
You see it kept moving?
No. I saw it in the same spot every time.
Alright, so I'm gonna take it out of fixed timing, use table,
Get burned. What's the setting at? The number one tooth angle?
190.
Huh?
190.
Okay. I'll forward that once we get this thing running. I'll forward it to.
Everything else should be good.
Yeah, did you change the injector parameters already in the dead time?
I changed to 440, but they're still unplugged.
Okay.
I don't. This looks different than normal.
Yeah, let me come over here.
So I don't know how to change that. Are good?
Crank it, see what happens.
It's only showing 100 RPM, but on the timelight it showed 200. Because it's hooked up both wires and the cranks.
Go back to crank speed and see if it... Now it sounds like it's...
timing of that.
Yeah.
Can I turn? Go for it.
Close enough to start.
You may have to give us some throttle. Yep. Hey, the turbo spins. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, give it a little more.
More?
Yeah.
How much fuel? How's the thing look? That was about 500 RPM.
Well, it has signs of life. Cool.
You were giving it about 20% throttle.
All I know is it
Well,
just does.
It started sputtering when we changed it, but
Yeah.
it could have also been a timing thing.
Well, it was dead on
That's true.
before, and it didn't do anything. I think, like, you remember, it was registering too slow.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. I'll have Jackson email him a video of it farting.
You want to? You gonna take a video on your phone?
I did already.
You wanna throw some more fuel? See if we can make it work.
No, because we need to have a cooling system on it. I don't really, because the more we play with it, and especially with no coolant or anything in it, I'd like to, if we start to get on a roll, we can at least maybe attempt to warm it up. And even then, you don't really want to make fuel adjustments till it's warmed up. The turbo is spinning for a while. Ball bearing, yeah.
Mine, if I'm idling and I turn it off, I hear my blow off valve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also part of the cam too.
Oh, yeah.
It's moving so much air.
And I can hear my turbo spin for a minute.
Ooh, back on Wilson's car. I took the bumper cover back off because I put this radiator hose on and it was just easier. And Chris wanted me to film a shot of the intercooler piping. The kit that he had on there, I think he said was like a Z31 specific kit off eBay a long time ago. And it worked. It did the job great. But the only thing I didn't like about it was it had about 87 couplers in it, and those are all connection points to fail, which is fine when you're running 8-10 pounds of boost. But this car now has a GT30 on it, so it's going to be making more than 8-10 pounds of boost. He had one of these cast 90s in the intercooler piping. It was like here to point up from here like that. So I repurposed that, cut the end tank off the intercooler or the outlet, welded that back on. So now we have a straight coupler, which is less likely to blow up, and no coupler there, welded to here. So there's only one failure point here, which probably won't fail. I couldn't do anything about this coupler though, which is unfortunate because I was trying to get rid of 90 couplers, but it's just too sharp, and the bumper does touch it, so it does push down. But I mean, there's very little room under here. The hood support here is also cut. So you can see the clearancing they did just to get it to fit like this. So I kind of just continued with what he was going on. And now we have to try and figure out the turbo intake. I don't know how we're gonna do that yet. It's a very sharp, I don't know if we're gonna bandsaw the compressor housing and try and weld a 90 to it and get it somewhere over here, or if we're just gonna put a filter on it. I haven't decided that yet. So I gotta figure out the rest of the charge piping, but this engine does run, as y'all saw in the previous clip. It does work. So that's pretty exciting. This car's been sitting for a long time. So I'm glad we're able to bring it back to life.
Yeah, it looks good. That'll do. I need to also make sure, so have we used any couplers from the shelf yet, or are these all his
These are all
couplers?
his couplers, so
Okay, cool. Because,
it may be this one.
I didn't add that hose to his overage thing. I need to add that.
Maybe this one. I don't remember his one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shaping up. Looks good. I wonder if we can come up with a better design for like maybe an aftermarket top bumper support.
Well, the only problem with that is it also holds the hood latch.
Yeah.
The secondary latch.
So what if we got a bunch of pieces laser cut and then you would just assemble it? No? Well, I need to see what the factory piece looks like first.
It's on board.
Oh, he brought it?
Yeah, he has it. Oh, that's right. This is the factory piece.
Was it already on the car when you brought it?
Yes.
I thought it was missing.
Maybe it was in the back of the car.
Okay.
Because the bumper was in the back.
Gotcha.
So you can see he notched here.
Yeah.
So I followed that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just did that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
And say if your car's bent, then
Yeah.
GG's.
Yeah, not a lot of options for intercooler stuff.
So we looked at Bo's, and Bo's like, oh, maybe we can do this on your car. Come around here instead of going over the AC compressor or under, go around it. But yeah, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's too tight.
There is no room.
Z31, or you have to do the Z32 bracket to modify it to get it, and then hoses.
Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
apparently the 32 bracket doesn't line up properly with the pulley.
Yeah.
So
There's a spacing
pretty
issue.
much just a big cog. And I don't think you can do it with you have to have a relocated turbo to run the 32 compressor.
Oh.
Because it goes down there
Right.
where the engine mount is.
Fair enough.
So I'm not doing that.
So, just sweat.
No. It will have air conditioning though.
I'll come up with something. It's just, it may not be the prettiest, but it'll be functional.
Yeah.
It just sucks that, like, you're looking at the potential for, like, okay, if you want a nice intercooler kit, you gotta buy a radiator
Yeah.
that has relocation brackets and do lots of trimming.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of, you're trying to modify it.
And
you
a lot
know?
of welding.
Well, I'm looking at it for, like, a production kit.
Yeah, if you have a Datsun and you don't know how to weld, get rid of it.
Did you say that?
I think so. Something along
On
those
this?
lines. Not
Like
this car.
oh.
It was something else. It was a while ago.
So it's probably already online.
Oh yeah, it is. I saw it.
Nice.
I don't know if it's worth it to make a production kit for this car.
Well, we'll just see what the market brings. I mean, because I'm going to make one for my car eventually, either way. And so,
first.
I know, I need to fix my L28 first. But, so if I'm going to go through the trouble of making one, I'd at least like to make it. It's just like my intakes on the BMW. Like, I haven't sold any of them, but the potential's there. Like, I already know exactly what it's going to cost if somebody wants one. Caleb's, we're at a point ready to drive this thing.
I just took it apart.
Let's put the filter in.
I can't.
Oh, like you can't get it in?
No.
Too
So-
tight?
Yeah, it will physically fit, but I can't get it.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I can take the engine mount out.
That's a pain in the
Well,
ass
that's
just get a
annoying.
filter on, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll come up with
Can we get a turbo guard?
Probably, yeah.
Or how efficient are those at street car stuff?
It's not the same as an air filter?
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't know what else to do.
right.
Because I can get the filter on, but it will never come back off.
The only other thing I can think of is we just go ahead and try to make a pipe that connects there with a coupler, you know, that goes under the engine mount bracket or something. I don't know.
That's not really possible, though.
No.
This is like,
It's just everything's just a tight fit.
this is sharp. And, I mean, it barely even
Yeah.
fits in there. So.
Okay. Big turbo problems in a small turbo car. So we may not have a choice but to take the compressor housing off and weld a sharp elbow to it to put an intake tube in it, like point it up, or
But even then, you got to get it back on.
Yeah.
You know, that's the struggle.
Okay.
So if you can get a turbo guard for a street car that it's safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many rocks it'll pick up right there. You could build like a diverter.
Yeah.
Shield. I don't know.
Well, we'll get something just temporary for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can just maybe find El Cheapo on Amazon or something just to get us by. Maybe we get one of those foam filters like was on Zimmerman's.
Is that one more slim than this? It's like this big.
I think it's a little slimmer. Yeah. And you can actually take the base off, so you don't have to take the. You know, you can change the foam insert.
Yeah, that might be the.
So.
Move. But how soon can you get one of those?
I'll have to look.
A couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going anywhere.
Right. All right. We got another VG block we're starting on. I got it painted and cleaned last night. I got all the galleries, the oil galleries cleaned. Washed as much of the engine block as I could. Painted gloss black, so I'm getting ready to flip it over now and lay the main bearings in, lay the girdle in, and start miking the crank. And take my dial bore gauge and start checking the inner diameters of the main bearings, and we're gonna check some clearances and start assembling this short block and get it ready to drop into Mr. Caponi's Z32 twin turbo out there. Alright, I am juggling a few motors at a time. I've got the 3.1 turbo stroker, no, this is 3 liter 3.1, I gotta look at the numbers. Turbo stroker, and I'm finishing up this VG engine now. I just finished dropping the crank in, I checked the thrust clearance, we're well within spec. All of the bearing clearances have been ran, and I also checked all of the rod bearing clearances a while ago, and I have all of my rings pre-gapped, so I'm getting ready to start putting Wiseco pistons on these Eagle rods, and we're going to get the rotating assembly done. And once this rotating assembly is done, I'm going to move on to that rotating assembly. And Patel's, I don't think we ever talked about it, but we ended up finding rust on the fuel tank. So we had this one cleaned out and put a new pump in it. And it's been running great. But then it broke down on Jackson and it threw... It's probably the worst water pump failure I've ever seen on an L motor. It actually, like, the front bearing broke, and it didn't make any noise before it failed, but it broke and took out the old radiator. So we put another radiator in it. But this one, the Amazon special, the cooler hoses didn't line up, or the threads were wrong, so we got some AN adapters to make it all work, to hook the cooler up, and then that's the last part of this. So, and we didn't do that. The previous shop that put the radiator in did that. They put an Amazon 280Z radiator in it. So we just put back what we found, and yeah, this one's probably getting ready to go home after that. Well, Mr. Patel's car's leaving. Well, guys, what do you think about driving skill? Would he pass a Gran Turismo license test?
Oh, yeah, regular license.
Well, we had some flash flooding in Arlington last night. As you can see, I have a grill missing, and I have a bunch of leaves and stuff in my other grill and grates. Yeah, I ingested some water. I'm hoping because I was going slow enough, trying to not float away, that the water ingestion didn't do any damage other than it just locked the engine. So I'm working on pulling the spark plugs right now. And I'm gonna rotate this engine over and see what happens. Well, let's see what happens. that you will notice in this corner, I'll open it up in a later shot, that is a BMW engine. Yeah, so I'm putting an engine in my 750 Li. We didn't get much on film, but Zimmerman's, we actually made a few minor changes that we got approved before the holiday. We were having some spark blowout issues, which is pretty common on these bigger turbo L motor setups. Even with Mega Squirt, there's only so much oil you can give the factory coil. So we upgraded to the All-Star ignition coil that we sell on our website. We gapped the spark plugs down to about 30 thousandths, give it some help. We got one good wide open throttle pull the other day, and then the next one we did, it broke out, or the spark blew out. But man, this thing's gonna be stout. You know, we've been waiting for our speed huts to come in. So that's another look at our S130 livery cluster setup. We had a weird issue where when we would turn the lights on, the temp gauge would read like max max temperature. So luckily Speed Hut sent us another one. We swapped it out. The problem is fixed now. We got the mileage updated, and so now we can actually like drive this thing with actual gauges and check our speed and all that. Bo and I are getting ready to run over to a transmission shop to pick up a vehicle that is over there. That we had, it's actually the high mileage C5. We had the transmission rebuilt again. So we're getting ready to pick that up, and we're gonna tune this thing on the way there. Other than that, I think he wants a couple of the wheels repaired. We're really trying to get this one out by the end of the month, and we're trying to get out Mr. Avery's. But these two have been kind of not kicking our ass, but not a cakewalk either. So that's just kind of how things go sometimes. Mr. Dalton needs an engine. Not necessarily needs an engine, but we need to take the engine out and take it apart because he's got a couple of broken head studs, or head bolts, which is, it's common for this era of L motor. So we've got to strip the engine out completely so we can get it up on an end mill and drill those fasteners out and put it back together. So he's getting a rebuilt engine. I finally got the VG fully assembled for Mr. Caponi. That one's getting ready to come in. So I can pull the heads off this, have them rebuilt, swap it over to the new short block. We've got a set of upgraded turbos, upgraded manifolds. We got $20,000 worth of bolt-ons to put on this thing. So Mr. Patel decided to leave his vehicle for us to get evaluated by the body shop after that idiot driver slammed into the back of his trailer. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Usually our shipping company hires good people, and I don't know where they got this guy, or maybe if he oversold himself, but he shows up with a utility trailer for like a backhoe or a tractor trying to load a Z car on it, and yeah, just it was a mess. I mean, you saw. So we got some contact there. You can tell the hood doesn't line up properly anymore. You can see this body line is all out of whack. I know the hood closes a little funny now, and you can see the underside's been hit a little bit. And here's the crazy thing, is this guy tried to bullshit us. Like, we watched the entire thing unfold. He tried to say that, oh, well, how could that damage have happened if I didn't even contact the trailer? And he said that with a straight face to three of us, and I was like, look, dude, if you want to have this discussion, we can go pull the footage right now and put this to bed. I was like, we got the whole thing on camera. Come on, man, don't bullshit. So, long story short, they're going to cover it, obviously, but, you know, some of you might ask, why didn't we stop him, or why didn't we intervene? Well, a few reasons. A, we didn't schedule the shipping. That was directly done by the customer. Sometimes things look sketchy, but look, I'm not going to tell a man how to do his job. You know, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm glad I decided to start filming when I did, for when disaster struck. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to get in the middle of, especially if I'm not paying him, you know, it's not on us. It's strictly between shipping company and the customer. Yeah, we're going to try to get this over to the body shop soon. We've got quite a few goodies coming in the February vlog. I had to make a tool for dropping the engine in my BMW, so that's going to be coming up on next month's vlog. The entire engine swap for the BMW is going to be on the vlog. What a labor-intensive nightmare of an engine swap. As always, we appreciate you guys watching and supporting us. Thanks for continuing to be the best part of GRW, whether you're a customer online, a local customer, just watching on YouTube. We very much appreciate it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for January. So we're starting off the new year strong, and we're gonna move into February. And we'll catch you in next month's vlog, and you can see all kinds of crazy shenanigans we always got going on around here. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share our videos, tell your friends, comment. Any bit of interaction you can give us on our YouTube channel helps kick our videos up in the algorithm and exposes it to more people. So even if it's a stupid comment, I don't care. Just comment. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next month.